All right, welcome to my bathroom. Yes,
Can I watch something on your phone?
I'm using it right at the moment,
Yes.
but maybe later, big guy.
Oh.
All right, here we go. We have Shamisha and Shamara and our beautiful hair model today. And what we wanted to do was just show you guys how to care for black hair. And our sweet model here is mixed, so we still have a lot of stuff to work with here. And then the ladies brought a ton of products that we'll go through as well. But Shamara, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and you know, you're a professional, so you know what you're talking about.
Yes, so I am a licensed hairdresser. I prefer to specialize in kids' hair lately.
Okay.
I've been doing hair for a while now, but kids' hair is what I am more directed to.
Yeah.
And definitely ethnic hair or
Okay.
mixed children's hair is a big thing right now.
That's
so,
awesome.
Shamisha has a lot of experience with her kids as well.
Yes, I have 3 boys, so it's a little different than long hair, but you still have to put the products in their hair. And I've also had my hair natural for probably 12 years now, so just learning what products work and what different hairstyles work best for your hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so great.
I think it's definitely all a learning process.
For sure. And so
Yeah.
we just want to have this little video series because definitely in the adoptive and foster care community, if you are not familiar with ethnic hair and you can, you know, and you say yes to any child, you're just getting
Yeah.
whoever you've said yes to, which is a beautiful thing. But I mean, definitely knowing how to properly care for hair is a big deal. I would say, one, as someone who's Asian, like I don't even know how to care for all of my mixed kids' hair. And then also a lot of, I would say, comments that I see on people's accounts on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of non-blacks who are adopting or fostering black children, and man, the like criticism that I see of like, hey lady, why are your hair and nails are done but your black son's hair is a mess. But I feel bad for them because they don't know what they're doing.
And it's not just them. I get the same thing, and I with my own child, like her hair is done today.
Yeah, so I mean, let's all give grace to each other
And be confident.
and be confident, and then learn. Like, let's be proactive in wanting to learn how
Yeah.
to best care for our children, and that includes their hair and their hygiene. So
Yes.
take it away, ladies.
So today we're just gonna do just the basics.
Okay.
Keeping it moisturized, how to maybe going through some products, what's best for each type of hair, maybe a couple different kinds of hair.
Day-to-day styling, protecting it at night is really important.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure they're sleeping on it right. If not, then you'll get breakage that you kind of maybe see in her hair right here.
Okay.
And we want to try to avoid that. But the key is just keeping it moisturized. We're in Arizona, we're in a desert.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that they have enough moisture in their hair so that it's not breaking off and that it's growing and that it's healthy.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to get into the products first?
Sure.
Okay.
So
So
what you got?
Shamisha's a little more into products than I am right now, personally. So we have 3 different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, we have a four
Yeah, four.
available right
Okay.
now. There's so many different kinds of hair products.
Which Shamisha says don't buy the ones at Target though.
Well, it just, Target, I have to go back. You can buy it from Target, but depending on where you live, if you're in a community that's not dominant black, they're not going to necessarily offer black hair care products that are proper
Can you
for your
charge
foster
this?
kid.
Can you charge this?
Not right now, big guy. But I love you.
Price-wise, yeah.
And price-wise, Target can be a little bit more pricey. So the products that we do have are a price range for you, just depending on your budget. But sometimes you might have to go to a community that has more dominant black community to find the proper hair care.
Okay.
I do have some like solutions for if you can't get to a place that has the proper hair care products. So we'll go over the hair care products and I'll show you kind of what you can do if you don't have the right hair care. You can add some like essential oils to your shampoos and conditioners to make sure that they're getting the proper moisture and stuff on their scalp.
Can they buy these things on Amazon or not even?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to go over this one? I know this is.
Yes, so I use the Miel line, which is I get it from Sally's,
Okay.
or also like an ethnic hair store.
It's for type 4.
It is
hair.
for type 4 hair. Like
So it's-
Shamisha said, they each product will normally they tell you what type of hair it's for on the bottle.
Okay, what is a type 4 hair?
Okay. So a type 4 hair, there's all kinds of. One hair is someone who has bone straight hair. And that's not going to be an Afro texture hair. That's not going to be.
Is that still black hair?
No.
It's like
That
Asian
is-
hair?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a type
straight.
1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, I did not know that.
Yes,
Fantastic.
And so type 2 hair is going to be like your just wavy, like barely curl. It's not even a curl, it's just a wave.
Okay.
Type 3 hair is when you're getting into your Afro textured hair. That's the type of hair that she has.
Okay.
So it's going to be long. You can see her curls. It just hangs really low,
Mhm.
and more of like a looser curl. And then you have your type 4 hair that you're going to have really tight ringlets, very Afro textured.
Okay.
More just she probably has more of like a type 4 hair.
Okay.
And so that's what this product line targets is a type 4
I
hair.
think type 4 requires a little more moisture and hold.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hmm. You're not going to get too much more of a curl pattern with the type 4 hair. I have a type 3. I have actually 2 different types of hair.
Of course you do.
In my head, which is very common for African American hairs to have multiple different hair types.
Correct.
So on the top of my head, I have more of like her type 3 hair,
Okay.
and in the back, I have a really tight curl. So I'm going to have a type 4 hair.
And that I noticed that a lot. I have the same thing. Mine's are really looser, a little looser up top, but really tight in the back. Same thing with my daughter.
Yeah.
Very tight in the back, and a little looser.
Okay.
So it's very common to have 2 different
Totally.
types of hair.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this product line because it targets both. Does this one say it on there? Here.
As I am.
As I am. I like this one. I have a very dry scalp, which a lot of African American hair has very dry scalp. And so you need to put, tea tree is like the #1 oil to put in your hair to help combat dry hair. So this one actually targets type 3, there it is, type 3 and 4 Afro textured hair. This is very, like $11 per bottle for
Okay.
this, very median range when it comes to hair care products.
Now this is just another one I brought along. I have so many at home.
Okay.
This is just another line. It's called On Jackie's. I didn't see which one they target on there. Do you see anything on there?
It's probably more of a 3.
This one doesn't necessarily work as good on my hair. I've tried it.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily like it. It's all trial and error.
Yes,
I
for
feel like
sure.
with products, you'll end up having so many in your cabinet. Just give them away to somebody who it does work for if it doesn't work for you.
Okay.
This one works decent, very well on my hair. This is my favorite line right
Okay.
now for mine.
Is Aunt Jackie's a little cheaper than the Miel?
I would say this is going to be like probably
Right
comparable.
around the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the meal is a little
It's a little bit more
pricier.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Maybe
you have
$13,
shampoos,
$14.
Yes. And this is Satnique. This is actually anti-dandruff shampoo that works amazing
Okay.
in your hair. It's very soft and it doesn't pull out the moisture in your hair. So you can actually detangle your hair with this.
Oh.
And then obviously whenever you shampoo, you're going to use twice as much conditioner that you do shampoo
Okay.
when you're in your hair because you want to put the moisture back in there. And for these ones, this is my example of it's not necessarily for black hair care, but it is a really good product. And so I'll add a few drops of tea tree in there to help with
Like
the dandruff.
Into the bottle or into your hand?
Nope, straight into the
Okay.
bottle. And
Mix
then you
it
don't
up.
have to, you'll shake it a little bit and then you don't have to mix it anymore. It'll go through, I'll put lavender in there, which helps just your pores, and then rosemary I'll also put in there.
Okay.
And that helps with dandruff, it helps with moisture. So any hair care product that might not necessarily be for black hair care, I would definitely invest in some oils just to drop into your conditioner and shampoo.
Okay.
All right. So that's really just the product, kind of getting into the products. Other things we have up here, I think everybody needs a spray bottle.
Okay.
Moisture.
Is that just water or is there like
It's just
conditioner in
water.
there?
You can put, I normally just use water. You can put conditioner, you can put oils, you can put your own mixture, anything. But
Okay.
I think it's always to start the hair.
Okay.
It's needed.
Do that.
Always. A
Okay.
spray bottle. It doesn't have, this one's a mister. It doesn't have to be a mister. It can be a regular spray bottle.
Okay.
We have just some gel Some people just can't go without gel. I'm one of them people.
They have a good curl pattern. It helps hold your curl. It keeps it really well. In the mornings, it holds my curls, and then when I take my satin bonnet off, I can shake my hair out, and my curls will just fall into place. So
You do
that's why
have
I love
glorious
gel.
curls.
She
Okay.
does. Clips are always needed.
Mhm.
Sectioning is always important. As you can see, Shamisha even has hers out sectioned, and that's where I'm headed. Just to completely just, you always need clips. Keep
Okay.
everything sectioned. It's how you're going to be able to get through the hair.
Okay.
The easiest. Different kinds of brushes. Some are hard. You just have to kind of go with what's good for the hair. I only use this for certain styles, I would say.
Okay.
I rarely use this as like smoothing or something. These I probably turn to the most. They're
Okay.
two different brands. I mean, they're like cheap, just
Okay.
a couple dollars.
Yeah.
They're really flexible.
But they don't have the little ball things
They
on the
don't,
end.
so they do not. These are like the best for
They won't
ethnic.
tear out
They
the
don't
hair.
pull the hair,
Okay.
and they're like amazing. I love these things.
Okay.
And then this is just for parting the hair. You want to make sure you're parting it like evenly because then you'll yank the hair out.
For sure.
So you just. That's it.
It's a lot, but so what I would say, first things first, is like I was sectioning her hair, and it's easy to section anybody's. I always go straight down the middle.
Okay.
Always just with my fingers normally, and I'll just section it out, go from the top, and I will just go down to the first, just down to her ear or around, and then you're making 2 sections.
Yeah.
Same thing on the other side, so you always have 4 sections to work with because it's easiest. I feel like. Or it just becomes too much. Our hair is a lot, so I think you always have to keep it just sectioned out. So what are we gonna do first? So I should just
Like spray. When you're detangling hair, you can use these products, but the best way, like in the shower and stuff, is to use your fingers.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the right brush or something, you'll tear the hair out. So you're always gonna want to wet it pretty good and always go through and detangle.
and
with
you want
your
to start at the
fingers.
bottom always.
Okay.
You want to when you're detangling. I rarely. We probably want to get her a towel.
You can grab one from
I
right behind you.
rarely ever use a brush, honestly. And her type of hair, my type of hair, I try to stay away from brushes for the most part.
Right, because you don't want to like ruin the curl.
I don't.
You don't want to ruin the curl pattern. It separates the curl. Your hair has a natural curl pattern. Curls clump together. And when you use brushes and combs, it separates them. So then you get more frizz. You
Right.
get, frizz is just going to happen with curly hair, but you get more when you're separating those curl patterns.
So I'm just going through and misting her hair, and to me, I like the hair to be soaked.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
you're really getting in there, girl.
Yeah.
Water is best. You literally, even her hair is
I'm gonna go with
freshly
this one.
washed, but if it had product in there, when you get it wet, it reactivates that product that's in there, so
Right.
you get that
Yeah.
curl pattern back. It gets rid of that nightly frizz.
Right.
And so
And then real quick, going back to the products, because I'm about to start with this leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
So I always go water first,
Mhm.
and then I go straight into a leave-in conditioner. So most of all these have a shampoo conditioner,
Yeah.
a leave-in conditioner. Oh, this is my other leave-in. Well, they're both meow. I love this product. A leave-in conditioner, and then I use an oil.
Okay.
And that's when I go to the store. So when you go to the store, I usually get a spray bottle. I already have a spray bottle. Whatever line I use, I'm gonna get shampoo, conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, and an oil.
Okay.
That's what I go with.
Okay.
always get double the amount of
Conditioner.
conditioner.
Okay. And even for your boys' hair,
Yes.
Misha? Okay.
Yes. Black hair soaks up. Because
Everything.
it's the opposite of white hair. I
Yeah.
guess you can say is that your hair gets oily, ours gets dry. It's the
Okay.
complete opposite. So you're always gonna want to have like twice the amount of conditioner to put that moisture back in there.
Okay, so I just put the water and then leave in, and then I'm just gonna start with my fingers down at her bottom. I just choose to finger detangle, but all you really have to do, if you don't have time to do this, I would definitely go with a brush.
Okay.
Literally, I would go immediately with this brush. If it's morning time, you guys are trying to get out there, it's gonna, and I would always start at the bottom, and it's gonna detangle fast, as long as it's moisturized. Her type of hair is not necessarily as, I wouldn't be concerned about brushing through it as much.
Okay.
It's just the type of hair she has.
More of the afro textured it is, the less you want to use a brush.
Okay.
So your type 4 hairs, you probably don't want to use a brush.
So do you basically never brush your boys' hair?
I never brush my boys'
Okay.
hair. Never. And they have shorter hair. With boys, if you want to keep their hair short, go to a barber to get like a line-up, edge up. You still want to put the product in there.
Right.
But even with my hair, I don't brush my hair at all. It's always with my fingers and some water.
So when you see
I'm just turning it this way.
like black kids with their not black parents, and like you just see their hair is not great, is it usually a moisture issue?
Yes.
Most of the time, immediately, yes.
So it's not like you didn't brush his hair. You didn't moisturize his hair.
You
and
didn't
it looks
moisturize his
like
hair
a mess.
properly. You're not using the proper products on it.
Okay.
If they're brushing it, that's going to also make it look really like
Frizzed out a little more.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And we can get into, like, we'll bring one of the boys, maybe next week or a couple weeks out and show, because theirs is so much a little easier to do. But yeah, the difference, what she means when they wake up and it's not moisturized, or, you know, it just has that little frizz. But you could always just put a little,
It's
product
bedhead.
on it.
It's
Yeah.
hard. It's an African American type bedhead.
All right.
And just moisture will reactivate those curls, get rid of those frizzies in boys' hair.
Okay.
If the hair is longer, you're gonna want to do some type of protective wear, like sleeping on a satin pillow.
Okay.
This is a satin bonnet that I wear over my hair. It helps with breakage. You can even put it over a boy's head to help with that. But this protects the hair at
And
night.
it locks in the moisture.
Locks in moisture.
Okay.
With her type of hair, I would probably put a braid in it at night.
That's what I was going to say. Should we go into what I would do at night?
Yeah.
So if she were my child,
Yes.
if it was nighttime, and it's the same thing I do with my daughter's hair as well, I will get it wet or moisturize it, put the leave-in in it. Sometimes, it depends on the type of hair again, I will use like a souffle almost. It's like a pomade almost. And it's just the same type of thing, just to lock in some moisture. Just a little bit, and I'm not going to use a lot. And it also just kind of will hold the curl a little bit. Not like a gel, but it's just a product to have in there. To kind of tame the curls and stuff. So I'm just putting a little bit in, and I always just finger comb through it all. So if it was nighttime, I would braid her hair up. That's going to be the simplest thing.
Okay.
It will stay all night. The braid will keep the moisture locked in. If she would wrap it in the satin cap at night and then wake up, it's gonna have the prettiest little curls.
That, and also you don't need to put rubber bands, hair ties, and
Try
stuff
to
at
stay
the
away from
end of their hair. Stay away from them because it rips their hair out. Curls will naturally create and lock the end of like a braid.
So I'm gonna show you. If I was gonna braid her hair, I would just. I don't know if everybody. I would hope everyone. It's pretty simple to braid. If not, you can give me a call. We can do some easy, simple braid.
Well, we're
lessons.
trying to get Shamara to start her own YouTube channel, so we're working on that.
So just 3 sections. I would she has a lot of hair, so I would probably do 2 braids in her hair, straight down the middle for both sides. But I would literally just braid her hair down and have her sleep just like this. And hers is just gonna stay. I try to keep them smooth all the way down. So sometimes I just finger through them. And this is with my daughter's hair as well at the ends. I always take a little brush, a little comb at the end, and I just keep her. And like Shamisha was just saying, how the ends just kind of wrap into themselves. It's kind of hard to explain, but
You just finger coil.
I literally just finger the end like this, and then it will kind of just when it starts to dry, it will wrap its own self.
Okay.
And so there's no like hair tie needed.
Wow.
So then it's not breaking that at the end. I would wrap her hair up. It will be dry in the morning. When we go to unbraid it, that's a whole nother getting into.
Okay.
Unbraiding, you literally want to unbraid the same way you braided, if that makes sense. That's going to keep the curl form, and it just works amazingly.
And then you can separate the curls with your fingers.
And I'll have to do a dry style and send you videos, and we can upload them to you. So the different style, like quick styles. And I would just unbraid it the same way I braid it, and then all her curls are going to just stay formed. No product needed when she would wake up in the morning.
Okay, because it's
she would
all
just go.
moisturized.
It's
good
all
to go.
it stays overnight. It soaks in overnight, and then it's creating that form for when you wake up in the morning. Unbraid it, and she would just go. She could clip it up. She could put a little ponytail in it. Leave the back down. It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
If there is a little bit of frizz, you just get a little bit of moisture, put it on the hair to reactivate it, and
pretty much this way. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of. So her type of hair also, if it was the middle of the day, there's no need and she needed to go somewhere, you could do the same thing with her hair. Put the leave-in, put a little product in it, and she could just towel dry this type, her type of hair. I would just towel dry it like this, and she could go on her day. See the difference of, I'm already turn, sorry babe, of her hair
Yeah.
unmoisturized versus yes it's wet, but when it dries up it's gonna
Still look
just
like
hold,
that.
yeah, it won't be frizzy.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Um,
And do you guys ever blow dry?
You want to stay away from heat.
Heat.
You
Okay.
don't want to do heat with curly hair. It's actually best just to leave it wet and let it air dry throughout the day, because the heat just creates fridge, that creates breakage in your hair. So avoid heat at all costs. Avoid straightening it. She'll probably get into this a little more maybe on another video, but when it comes to cutting their hair, you don't want to straighten it to cut their hair.
Right.
Because then when it goes back up in their afro,
Yeah.
their afro is all discombobulated. So it's called a diva cut, and it's cutting their hair curly so that their afro is shaped well.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to do a video with that for sure.
Definitely that. I'm just gonna wet up the front of her hair. Look how pretty her little curls are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their hair will just take water and some leave-in. Other people's we have to do a little bit more, like mine. It's more of a process, but with my daughters, it started like Shamisha's been natural. I'm going natural, and my daughter, I'm haven't started her any other way.
And going natural, that just means like you're not putting any chemicals in your hair. You're letting just your natural curls come out. You're not straightening it or anything like that. Because growing up with 5 girls, it's impossible to keep all of our hair done. So my mom would put, what is it, a relaxer, which would get rid of the curls completely, and it would straighten your hair because it's easier to handle.
Right.
That was more common back then.
Yeah, but
sure.
now you just want to let them grow confident in their hair.
Yeah.
Yes, love
and
that.
so it is another whole side job trying to do your hair, but hopefully we'll be able to help.
So just with her little frizzies. So if we have people with lots of frizzies going on, I'm just gonna put a little bit of gel on hers if it was like morning time,
Right.
and she needed to go to school. We'll just throw some water on, a little bit of leave-in like we just did, and then I would just take just a little bitty bit of this gel is what I use, and I would just.
Okay.
It's not too bad. Just put a little bit. It's not a lot needed. You don't want to use a lot of gel, and I'm gonna use a soft brush this time, and you can just brush it up into any type of style. It's gonna make it lay down, and like we were saying, when people get on the internet, they're being harsh. And that's the little things that they're being harsh about, which isn't really, it's not needed, but it's understandable when people see.
Like the Olympics. Who was that? Gabby? So, again, I don't know anything about hair, so what were people losing their minds over? Her hair wasn't very moisturized.
She has an afro textured hair, and it's very hard to maintain.
Yeah.
But moisture is a big thing for her. She probably had breakage, which we used to call my sister like a sunflower.
Right.
She's little, because all her breakage was like
Right.
in the front of her hair. So then you naturally just have it. It doesn't stay back in a ponytail unless you gel it back.
Right.
But then also putting too much gel in her type of hair causes dandruff and white frictionless.
And it may cause more breakage unless you exercise.
And so people are just mean.
People are definitely mean, for sure.
And I think it's just getting to know your own hair.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's probably something she's working on. But when you're
And she was an Olympic athlete. She had other things happening.
When you're
You're not
sweating,
worried about your hair.
kids are running around. It's not one thing. Their hair is never gonna stay.
Right.
You're gonna do it in the morning. They're gonna come back, and these frizzies will come back.
Right, for sure.
It's not gonna be perfect. That's something people just have to understand with our type of hair. It's never gonna always
Just
seem to be perfect.
Right.
You know.
As long as it's healthy,
Exactly.
that's all that matters.
Okay.
It doesn't stay in place, which is fine.
And it's just making it easier as long as we're nourishing their hair and nurturing it. When they get older, they're going to be able to take care of it a lot easier.
Right.
And to where they're not going to have to be adults like myself trying to go natural.
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I guess that's really the point of it, just trying to help them nurture their hair to the point where they can do it their own self eventually.
Right. And how often do you recommend cutting hair?
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months, okay.
Every 6 months you want to cut the edges because with curly hair, it gets knotted at the end.
Right.
Like you'll have little knots, and that's what makes it more tangly. That's what makes it harder to maintain. Is when you have the knots on the end, and it's harder to get through your fingers through and detangle. And so the professionals suggest every 6 months to get your hair trimmed. And when it comes to washing your hair, like I said, our hair is dry,
Right.
so you don't want to wash it and strip those the moisture that you've been putting. So once a week,
Okay.
washing your hair. If they have really bad dandruff, as you're trying to maintain that, I would say twice a week.
Okay.
Washing their hair, but no more than that, or else you're not moisturizing your hair. You're stripping the moisture out of.
How
hair.
about when it's 120 degrees in Arizona and your kids are running around outside and you're like, hey, you smell terrible. Just still don't wash their hair?
Nope.
Okay.
Because African American hair, which is kind of weird, it grows more when it's a little dirty. When it's a little, it's different, and it's kind of, I don't like saying dirty. I don't know another word for it, but when you've go
got the
like
natural oils and all of that goes
We
in.
have so much natural stuff in our hair
Right.
that we don't want to wash it all out.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a tough one.
and I wouldn't say they can get in the shower with their hair like out.
Okay.
Just don't get it soaking wet. Like a little bit of mist and stuff on there is
That's
really
fine.
good for their hair, but you don't need to soak it or shampoo it or anything like that.
Okay.
Do you same thing with like the girls? With the girls that have their hair styled almost, or they're in like a drying phase or process when they're showering? I would say
Yeah,
sometimes
you can get your fingers and just kind of
Sure.
get some moisture in there in your scalp, but I still wouldn't like wash it all out.
Okay.
That's what I do for my This is a protective style.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
what
like
I'm gonna go
that was
into.
the big thing. Like the summertime in Arizona, your kids want to swim. Putting it in a braid like that when they're swimming helps detangling when you're done. Helps with the washing process.
Yeah.
Always. If they're swimming, you need to wash it that day.
Yeah.
Or else it is gonna be hell.
Wash
trying to
it with
detangle.
shampoo and conditioner.
Yes.
It needs to be washed.
You need to get that
The chlorine
chlorine
has
out
to
of
come
their
out.
hair, or else it tangles it really, really bad.
Mats it all up.
But it helps before they go swimming if you braid it up, or if you put it in a bun, just to help keep the tangles out of their hair.
How about for boys though? Just good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, great.
But their hair's shorter.
Yeah.
So I still wash their hair.
Mhm.
But you always want to make sure you're adding a leave-in conditioner after, because then when they sleep on that, it just keeps that moisture in their hair, and their hair is like a pillow when they wake up in the morning. It's
So if
super
you're gonna
soft.
wash, always leave in,
Okay.
and like never without it. I'm just doing.
And
just
and if you don't want to hear any criticism from people, don't post any pictures of your kids then. That's
Right, no,
probably
seriously.
another win for you, right?
Because someone's always gonna have an opinion.
Yeah.